Hello, Debbie here. So before we get into the episode, I have a really quick and exciting announcement to make. I have a new digital program coming out before the end of the year called Playtime Pause Academy. And this new program is going to be designed to support you no matter where you are in your journey. So whether you're at day one or maybe even preparing for a puppy, or you're struggling with adolescent behaviors or even adult behaviors. Now, this is a brand new program that I'm going to be building from the ground up. So when I do open the doors, again, before the end of the year, it's going to be at a very special founding members offer. And for being one of my first students, you are going to get special pricing and special benefits for as long as you are part of Playtime Pause Academy. Now, if this sounds like something that you are interested in, you can get more information, including what the program is going to include, and join the waitlist so you can get any new information that comes out and be one of the first to know when I do open the doors. You can go to playtimepause.com/waitlist for all that information. And once you do join the waitlist, you can email me with any questions that you have. I'm very excited about this new program. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while, so I'm really hoping that you'll come and join me. Until then, let's jump into the episode. Bye for now.
You are listening to your New Puppies podcast, starting you and your dog off on the right paw. Here's your host, Debbie Salento.
Hello and welcome to episode 71 of your New Puppies podcast. I'm Debbie, and today I'm going to give you my 5 best tips on how to get a stronger stay. I did this in my newsletter a while back and it was super popular, so I thought I'd bring it onto the podcast. Stay is one of my favorite commands to teach your dog. I also think it's one of the easier ones, but we have to do it right, and most of us aren't. But the good news is there's just a few little tweaks that we can make to get that stronger stay. So before I jump into the tips, real quick, when we're teaching our dog stay, typically we're having them sit, we're putting our hand out like a stop sign towards our dog. That's a pretty standard signal. And we're backing up and asking them to stay in that same position. And as we're teaching them stay, we're getting a little further away, and we're getting a little further away. And we're also asking them to stay longer. So distance and duration are the two things that we immediately start building when we think of stay. So how we can build a solid distance and a solid duration is exactly what I'm going to talk about today. So let's jump in to tip number 1, and that is go slow. Don't rush it. And what I mean by this is so often what we do is we see how far we can get. And I don't want you to do that, because what's happening is we're just setting our dog up for failure. If we keep backing up and keep backing up and keep backing up, or asking them to stay longer and longer and longer to see how far we can go, what the end result is our dog breaking and not holding that stay. So what you want to do is go in super small increments. Whenever we go a little further, a little longer than we did last time, get in there and reward it. Reward those small wins. Even if it's just one step further or a couple seconds longer, our dog is actually going to learn faster and have a better foundation. Tip number 2, you're going to walk back to them every single time before you release them. And the release is usually like, okay, break, before whatever you say when you're like, okay, we're done. And you give them their treat. Because most of the time, what we end up doing is doing this stay, come exercise. It's like stay, you walk 5-10 feet from them, whatever it is, and then you're like, okay, come. What ends up happening is 2 things, is our dog starts anticipating that come. So they're not focused on the stay at all. They're focused on waiting for that come. So they're actually waiting to break. And we don't want that. We want them to be, focused on, okay, I just stay right here. And the other thing that's happening is, and then on top of that, we're never actually rewarding the stay. We're only rewarding the come because that's the last thing they do before they come to us. And it makes sense because we're like, well, we can kill two birds with one stone. Stay, come. But what's happening is you're teaching a come, but you're not teaching a stay. So what you do is you ask them to stay. You walk however far away, you wait however long, like wherever you are in the training, and then you walk all the way back to them and then release them. And then say the okay, and then give them the treat. Tip number 3, when they do break, and what I mean is that they move, they try to walk towards you. That's what I mean when I say they break. When they do, you have to bring them all the way back to their original spot, as close as you can get to that exact spot. To reinforce, I wanted you to stay right here. Because what can happen is, they get up, they walk a couple steps towards us, and maybe we'll give them the and then they sit back down, and then we start over from that spot. What they're actually doing is they're creeping towards us. So you want to, as soon as they break, I give an and I walk them all the way back and reset them to the spot where I originally had them. And then I know that I went too far. That I back up a little bit. I shorten the duration. I shorten the distance just a little bit because I know I went too far because they broke, and you kind of step back a little bit. Tip number 4, stay is a 1-syllable word. We all do it. When we start using the command, it sounds like this. Stay. And what that actually does, that movement in our voice, encourages movement in the dog. It's stay. It's a simple 1-syllable command. Now, tip number 5 kind of relates to this, and it's most people's favorite because this is one of the few commands you can use more than once. So usually that you're not supposed to sit there and be like, sit, and say the command over and over. Like if you've ever spoken to a trainer or try to do that in front of a trainer, they're going to be like, say the word once, only once, because then the word starts to lose its meaning. With stay, we can remind our dog what they're doing. So you ask them to stay, the one syllable, stay. And then you can back up a few minutes, and if you see them maybe start to shift, maybe get a little antsy, you stop and you simply say it again, stay. And you can continue, and you can say it multiple times, just kind of reminding them, this is what you're doing. This is what you're doing. This is what you're doing before you come back to them and release them. And that's it. Those are the 5 tips. So to review, tip number 1, go slow. Avoid the let's see how far we can go mentality. Tip 2, go all the way back to them before you release them. Avoid the stay and come exercise. Tip 3, when they do break, meaning they move, they try to walk towards you, etc., bring them back to their original spot that you had them in, or as close as you can get to it. Tip 4, stay is a 1-syllable word, not stay. And tip number 5, go ahead and use the word more than once to remind your dog exactly what they're doing. I'll do it every 3 to 5 steps, or maybe every 5 to 10 seconds. It really depends where you are in your training for that. But that would be a place to start. And that is all I have for you today. If you are enjoying this podcast, you can rate and review it wherever you listen, and that helps other dog owners find the podcast. If you would like to continue working with me, I have both virtual and in-person training. You can find more information at playtimepause.com. You can also find more information on my brand new program, Playtime Pause Academy, if you go to playtimepause.com/academy. Thank you so much for listening. I'll be speaking with you soon. Bye for now.